You get 6 minutes.
Thank you.
Before I start, I just want to say, did every board member get one of these? All right. You also have included in the package, you have the election results in the back. That was not made public. I'm making it public. I had a request, a fall request, Mr. Francis, thank you. And in addition to that, we also discussed about executive meetings are no longer going to be non-public. It's going to be open public for all. We just changed 20 years of Community Board 10 policy. Thank you, Mr. Kearns, and the lawyers that made the decision. Before I start with this letter that I'm going to distribute, I just want to show support for Ferry Point. We have Dorothy here from the organization, and other people from Ferry Point. We do support you from Pelham Bay. We're not supporting just because of Mr. Trump. And it seems to be this is the discussion. We all want to support Mr. Trump. I support 36 or 39 homeowners there? 36?
60 families.
Oh, 60 families there. I support the 60 families. Okay, and I hope you guys do take Bob Peters' suggestion. There is a legal process, an appeal process that should be made aware to the group. Now, going back to Pelham Bay, which is somewhat different, Ferry Point apparently has a contract in place with DHS. We do not have a contract, and before I speak, I better make sure. Mr. Kearns, no contract for ASC, right?
I have not seen one.
Thank you so much. Apparently, this has been 6 weeks, no contract. Contract what I'm referring to is New York State or New York City contract, Department of Health. The speakers here, we've questioned them on the last meeting that I participated in, Community Board 10. Ms. Dukes was there in the same manner tonight. We're very misinformed by our guests. And since they didn't answer, I'm going to answer some of the question I believe that some of the people asked. They want to know how many people have criminal records. Well, we asked that at the community board meeting, I think it was August 15th or something, on or about that time. And she didn't have an answer either. And she did not have, Ms. Duke did not have an answer. ASC, NYC didn't respond then. One of the board members that were present, actually asked them, do you do background checks, criminal background checks? They said we're not required. But I know why they're not required, and I also know why they didn't answer the question here tonight. But 71% are active and recovering drug abusers. 71%. And are active and recovering. That's very important when you hear the word recovery. What does that mean? We all know what that means. I mean, a drug counselor that I spoke to, recovery means, a junkie that's getting paid. Now, we have 25% of people that have been in jail. And you're right, we do not know what kind of criminal activity. And I'm sorry for, to be this way. And although it's different from Ferry Point to Pelham Bay, we actually have a drug rehab center program with supportive housing. We're not saying that it's a homeless shelter. We know it's not a homeless shelter with kids and babies. And I would oppose that too in a sense because unfortunately that's the way life is here. We have people that invested money in the community. We have people that have second, third generation homes in our community. They go out and work. They go out and pay their mortgage. They don't need it. They do not need it, they don't deserve it, and nor should they tax money that they work very hard to get there.
Yes.
We have enough problems in Pelham Bay. We do not need an additional 100 drug addicts, active and reformed drug addicts in Pelham Bay. I don't think the 45 will be able to handle it, although they're doing a great job. Why should we burden resources? We need the 45th. I'm going to read this letter then. It was addressed to, if you need a copy, I'll give you a copy. I have some extras there for the people. Open letter to
You only have 2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes remaining. Oh, my 6 minutes are not up. Almost up. Okay, well, I sent the open letter to Senator Klein, Assemblyman Benedetto, and Vaca. We're calling for an investigation. This organization does not have a contract, has never maintained a contract for 1870 Pelham Parkway in Pelham Bay. They've somehow, with their public relations stunt, and part of the public relations is this advisory board. Mr. Odo received a second chairmanship. Congratulations, Mr. Odo. His first one was SUS, where we had to deal with almost a year of the loitering, of all the issues that came with the problems with the first group. Now we have a second group. Apparently Mr. Odo's experienced it, and I congratulate you on it. But apparently it doesn't bother you. You are living on Coddington Avenue and Crosby, which is possibly 30 blocks away from there. I live around the corner. So now I know why you're the chairman. God bless you. I hope they pay you. But back to this community board. I want specifically for this community board about this advisory board, which has been advanced and pushed forward by members here, and unfortunately Mr. Prince, as I put it in the letter. Chairman Prince has stepped his bounds of authority here. He does not have the authority to establish a community advisory board without a legal contract from New York City or New York State for this organization. We don't put the cart in front of the horse. It's an old saying. Thank you, Mr. Prince. So I object, and I hope every board member reads this material, and you should question your chairman and ask him, what authority does he have to establish a community board advisory? The only reason they want this community advisory is when they do apply for funding for an RFP, they're going to be able to say, I had Ms. Duke telling me, after we had 3 protests in front of the place, that I had Ms. Duke telling me, the community is not against it. I have a community advisory board on it. This is wrong, I suggest.
Your time is up.
Well, thank you. Thank you, folks. If you need copies, does anyone want a copy? You're welcome to a copy. Okay, back is up. I emailed it back to the office. In your office as well?
Next is Mike.
You got a copy. I emailed you copies.
I'm going to speak about the train situation at Fury Avenue. But first I just want to say a couple of things. And when we come to new business, I'm going to talk about homelessness. I mean, for 7 years I did a 15-minute
Can't hear you.
For 7 years I did as a volunteer a 15 men and women shelter. For 29 years I've been in HRA, and now I'm in HASA, which is the HIV and AIDS services. So I have a little bit of knowing why we've come to the point of where we are. I just want to say, Delio, you're a great advocate, but you don't uplift your cause and yourself by tearing down other people. But you are a great advocate to the community, and I just want to tell you that. I think you're doing
What?
well, you sort of tear people down. You don't have to do that. You have a cause, and you're a very good advocate, and you shouldn't. You know what I'm saying?
I tell the truth.
Okay.
Just keep that in mind.
I also like to say that
Not like
Martin
lies that I've been hearing
Okay.
all this time from this community board.
Martin Prince and John Morano did come in front of people that were very hostile to them for good reason, and I was very proud of the new chairman. I thought he really answered a lot of questions. And I want to say before I get into this, I thank Councilman Vaca, I thank Assemblyman Benedetto, I thank Klein, and I thank most of all Ken Kearns, even though Ken thinks I don't appreciate him, for all the times I've been emailing and calling about getting a Pelham Bay shuttle, getting more buses from 2 to 4. Today they had a commercial truck that was at Kane Square. It parked over the curb cut, so no disabled people can go through. It was half on the sidewalk, half off, I think. the construction there is very disrespectful to the people. Sometimes it's very good, sometimes it's very bad, sometimes the bus service is very good, sometimes it's very bad. I just want to say that whoever, Delia is very much correct. We're like a sleepy community that does not complain. And we should be complaining and constantly complaining. I know I'm not going to complain anymore because I told you that because I'm tired. But I wanted to bring this to the front. I appreciate and I still want you guys to continue, because every time you stop complaining, all of a sudden it goes back to two buses. And that's not right. That's not right. I was at 161st Street. They had 12 buses. 11 were empty when they have around the circle. I understand they have more people going over there on the 4 and stuff, and when that's not running, you have to have more buses. But you have 12 buses there. 11 are empty. You can have an all-night shuttle from the Staten Island Ferry to Chambers Street to pick up disabled people, but you can't have something in Pelham Bay. Something is not right with that. And a couple of things real fast. The lady that said about we get more than what our fair share is. Queens doesn't have an intake homeless place. Of the 10 so-called intake homeless facilities, including pathways, you have 3 in the Bronx. So that's not right. That's not fair. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. I wanted to say this as a member of the residency. And okay.
Okay, in response to the situation you saw at the train today, I think that, this board has went and made a lot of inroads with a lot of city agencies that do some of the everyday work in our neighborhood. We can't communicate those problems if those problems aren't communicated to us. So if you see a situation and you don't say anything or you don't reach out, you can't do anything to resolve it. Now, I don't know what the situation was, but if we weren't alerted, we can't help. And that goes in response to any business you're doing with New York City. If it's something that you think needs to be attention paid to it, then you need to make us aware. Because if we're not aware of it, then it's only a concern to yourself, and it doesn't get out there. So in order for us to represent you fully, we have to be made aware. And I know the staff is probably wanting to kill me now because I'm saying give them more volume, and I see the volume they take every day. We do pay attention to that, and we do fight for that. But you have to bring the attention, bring it to our attention in order to do anything. Last speaker will be Miss Dorothea Koji.
Yes, hi. First I'm here to hand in a complicated situation we're dealing with on Brush Avenue with H.O. Penn has decided that the entire Brush Avenue is for them to do their business on. And they are now working on the New York City buses, the double buses, which have Caterpillar motors in them, and when they're under warranty, they have to be serviced by Caterpillar mechanics, which means they come to H.O. Penn. So at any time, you might see 3 double buses. One is double parked right on Brush Avenue. One is on the side of an undeveloped sidewalk, and one might be in their bays getting fixed. But they're always there, and we have other problems with them, and I just wanted to hand this in for municipal services to look at, because I know Monday it's going to be so busy that I think they should read it rather than me stand here and speak about it. The other thing is, of course, the homeless shelter. We held a neighborhood meeting on Monday night, and Ken and, I always think of your last name, Prince, Ken and Martin were nice enough to stop by and give us an update and tell us how they're supporting us as best they can. And we, of course, my neighbors are scared and they're also angry. And we have 60 families in Ferry Point, and there's 95 families coming in. So we have 60 working families and 95 homeless families. That's not going to work out too well as far as we're concerned. So like everything else that's been thrown at us over the years, we'll make the best of it, and if they end up there, we'll actually do events with them, and we have people that are willing to get clothing for Christmas and toys for Christmas. If it comes to that, we'll make the best of it, you know, but as of now, we don't believe that's a place for it at all. Of course, we were hoping for more economic development, more jobs, and a better area, not the entrance to the $234 million taxpayers' money golf course to end up, that's the entrance to the golf course. They're going, that's the actual entrance. You go past that motel to the park. It's like ridiculous. So, as far as we can tell, we're just gonna hang in there, and Monday night, I guess we'll go over this more. And thank you for all your support from all the other neighborhoods. And just keep thinking about what we can do, and maybe we can come up with some kind of group that maybe we could help support any further things that happen in our community. Maybe we could work on legislation that might change that emergency situation that doesn't end up costing us our neighborhoods. You know, it's a matter of if you have nothing and you want something, where do you get it? You know, you have to go get it somewhere else, you know, and if that happens all over our neighborhood, you know, of course, we want to help, but we also don't want to go downhill while we're helping. So, take care.
Motion to close the public participation.
Make a motion to close public participation.
Last time I asked you
Second.
that you have been a community member
Uh,
of this board.